I don't know if you as an officer ever look at the other officers. Now, these women who supposed to be officers walking around with tight ass pants, a whole bunch of jewelry, long ass nails like they going to the club. You understand? And now with some law and some rule with the army, and you don't have to wear your hair up and you can wear it any color and whatever the case may be. That's some bullshit. Because that's leading to enticement. You understand? Oh well, if a male officer can't hold on to his thing, yeah, it's not my fault. But this is part of what they do, the clique do. They're trying to break down the necessary walls to keep men and women equal and to have no substandardness in the army, the jails, NYPD, anything that dealing with rules and regulations to keep everybody on the same plane. They want to make it look like people is trying to hold them back as being women, and why can't they wear this, and why they always have to wear their hair up, and the next thing you know they're gonna have purple hair, green hair, all kinds of stuff going on. You understand? But this is a step-by-step breakdown so the women can start using their sexuality to get to these men, inmates, debts, captains. That's all it is. It's no trying to get us equal or whatever the case may be. No, it's not. It's not. Now, when I was an officer, they used to rag on me because I wore my pants baggy. I'm in a jail full of men. I'm in a jail full of inmate men. You don't know how long they've been there. You don't know what they in there for. Some of them know, but I didn't know unless they tell me or whatever, unless the inmate tell me. So why put yourself into that predicament? You're at work, but you come in with your pants so tight you can barely breathe. You come in here with your nails so long. How do you open the cells? How do you write anything? How do you have your book? You're not going to the club. You're going to work. So you if you want your nails long, have it at a decent length. You don't have to paste on the makeup. You don't have to wear your pants so tight you can't breathe. But these women, like I said before in my last video, they're very strategic. If they can't get the officers and the captains and the depths, they would entice the inmates into doing whatever they want. And sometimes they do. Sometimes they get down with the inmates. You understand what I'm saying? So when they used to tell me, "Oh, your pants so baggy," yeah, I'm not up here in a club trying to pick up no man. If I so happen to like an officer or whatever, that's different. But that don't mean I have to wear my clothes so tight to show him my whole frame. He see that after when he asked me out and I put my frame. But you putting it out there as an officer, who can take you seriously? And inmates look at you like, bitch, you just a stunt on the street. But you so happen to be in jail with a badge. You dressing like you on the street with your pants so tight, I can see the crack of your ass and the shape of your pussy. I'm not fucking respecting you. So they play the game. They start talking to you like you are a trick, like you a chick on the street. Yo, so and so, how you doing? And you gotta cut that short. Why? Because some stupid ass officer don't know how to put on some clothes and and loosen it up a little bit. Because this is what they bring to the force. But they doing it for their team. They trying to get these inmates on their team. They trying to get these depths on the team. Let me tell you a story. One time I'm in my car. I'm driving somewhere. I can't remember where I'm driving. My phone ring. Bloop. I said hello because, I had speakers through my car. It's Captain Franklin. Now, first of all, I don't know you. How did you get my number? That means you're scheming on me. Somebody gave you my number. I didn't give you my number. Me and you is not friends. So I'm like, who's that? Oh, it's Franklin, blah, 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 blah. And she going on and on and on and on and talking about some depth she trying to bang. and how he's not appreciative. She's a woman and she got a nice house and she's this and she's willing to give him the pussy, and yeah, she could, and he promised her some kind of post on the job, and he fronting because he don't want to come, and she placed out some kind of, what she said, she placed out some robe on her bed and this and that, and I'm like, do she know who she talking to? So I let her talk. I didn't let her know she dialed the wrong number, because I'm figuring out how you get my number in the first place. So when I sitting there thinking how she get my number in the first place, I said, okay, she's probably in Lester's crew because they all in security. So Lester trying to get at me, so they probably all got my number because they pulled up on my man. So she going on and on and on and telling me the story about how she trying to get some depth in her bed, and how she laid out the bed with a robe and a slippers and cleaned the house and blah blah blah. And I'm just, this is what they do. This is what they do. When you're not on their team, and if you're a man, because most of them is women, and you're a man, they try to screw you on their team. Because the hallway officers, they used to place one directly in front of my area, because he was part of their crew. They had to watch me. You understand? If I send my guys out, blah, 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 and it wasn't one of their guys, they would question the guy, cause trouble, da, da, da. Oh, you gave him the wrong, all kinds of stuff. You understand? These are the pressures that they put on you. But if you're an officer in the jails, watch some of these officers. Watch how they come to work. For real, watch. They don't come to work like no officer. They come to work like they coming from the club with their nails long, tight pants as tight as can be. You understand? They hair, this, some of them don't want to pull their hair up. You pull your hair up for those people in Washington who want to say wear your hair any way you want to, and why do it? You pull your hair up because when you're an officer, you don't know what's gonna happen. Inmates can come at you, and the first thing they're gonna do is tug at your clothes or pull at your hair. So you always have to have it up so they won't get at it as easy. Then you wear your clothes loose because you have to get whatever weaponry they give you, which is like mace and your cut gun, just in case they want to hang themselves, and that has to fit in on your uniform. Then your book have to fit in your pants. So, but if your pants are so tight, then you stick your book in your pants. Your pants is tight as ever. I remember this one officer. I forget her name. Me and her used to work in the West together, but that wasn't a regular spot. Her pants were so tight. She's a captain now. Her pants were so effing tight. So one time, me and her was doing a search. I found the drugs, but she got the whatchamacallit, right? Because I'm telling her where to search the inmate, because she didn't want to bother searching. And I said, search this, do this, blah, 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 blah. Check his this, check his that, bum, bum, bum. She found drugs. She didn't want to do none of that. You think that she said me and Officer G? No, she took all the credit, but fine. You a captain now, fine. My captainship was on hold. Fine. You understand? But I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about who gave him the drugs. So my job, keeping track of these people, is how did that drug get in here and who gave it to them? So what I did, I started looking around to see what officer might have given him the drugs. He didn't get that drug by himself. She was worried about getting praise for finding the drugs. I'm worried. I'm trying to find out which officer gave him the drugs. You understand? Now she works in 76. Well, when I left, she got promoted, went to 76, the neighbor jail next to 95. You understand? But that officer wore her pants so tight. I don't know how she breathed. For real. I don't know how she breathed. It was so embarrassing as a female officer for myself. It was very embarrassing. But these chicks walk around here like they on the street. You know, they wearing they. Oh, yeah. Oh, you wearing your clothes so baggy. Yeah, because I'm not trying to check for no inmate. I'm not trying to check for no other officer. If I see something I like, yeah, we talk whatever. But if he wants to see what my frame look like, he got to ask me to. He got to ask me out. But it's not only him seeing your frame. Everybody and their mother seeing your frame, even the inmates. What kind of respect? What kind of respect is that? That's why they want to come out their face and call us bitches all the time, because that's our middle name in jail. All the female officer, bitch. Yeah, I'll be a bitch, because sometimes these other officers, that's what they do. They think, okay, well, this is how I like dressing, and if I'm a girl, I gotta keep my frame looking tight. Okay, you're trying to entice a dep, you're trying to entice a captain, but you also enticing inmates. There's no need for all that. There's no need for none of that. Your clothes, your uniform can have some room in it, even if you voluptuous in certain places. Yes, if you got a big butt, if you got a lot of chest, like I did. I wore two bras. You hear me? Underneath my vest, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to shake. And they claim, oh, my pants always fit like that. Yeah, you got a big behind, but I'm sure you have loose clothes. You can find a loose pair, a loose uniform, or get it specially tailored. You got to walk around like a hoe, because that's what it looks like. A trick on the street, just with a badge. Ain't nobody gonna respect that. So now they want to do all that stuff with the hair, and why they gotta wear their hair, and why can't they have this, and why can't? That's because you keep the line official. If as a army officer, you got braids in your hair, keep it up. What's wrong with your hair being up? It's out of your face. Oh, but we look just like the dudes. All right, so what? That's the kind of job you want. You want it to blend in, not blend the fuck in. So now you want to be a girl. You want to show the enemy that you're a girl. All right. So when they grab your ass, don't call nobody, because you're there because you think you can do the same job as men. So do the job. Don't call on no man to do nothing. Do it. Do it. Wear your hair down, and when they catch you, and when they notice you a girl, they aim at you. Go ahead, wear your hair down. Do that. And wear your hair 15 different colors. Do that. Go ahead. Because certain things is strategic for a reason. You blend in. I was watching a show, not to cut myself off. I was watching a show, and Harry, the prince, he wanted to blend in, so he dressed like everybody else. If they knew that was the prince, what would you think that they would do? They would shoot at him. Because he went to war, he fought in the war for his country. He did all that. Flew a plane, all that. Nobody knew it was Prince Harry. Because he blended in. As soon as they found out who it was, they pulled him out. But for the most part of his career, he blended in. There's nothing wrong with a female officer blending in with the males, because sometimes it's safety amongst blending in. But no, you want to you want to protest and do all that, and you want to say you can dress the way dress the way you want. But when the enemy, because we're not the only one in the world, you understand what I'm saying? When the enemy find out that you're a girl underneath that cap, and they aim for your ass, don't say nothing. When the inmates see how one crazy inmate come in the jail system one day, and they see how tight you are, and he in there for rape, and he try to do something to you, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. So all y'all strategic planning for your drug game is putting other officers in harm's way. For real, for real. So it just doesn't stop with, setting that person up or making the bus late or things like that. It's the clothes you wear too. That's sending a message to the inmates. And maybe you flirting with the inmates and you putting the other female officer at risk. You understand? There's a way you can get stuff out of male inmates without having to do all that stuff. You can get your way. You're an officer, first of all. Sometimes you just take being nice. That's why I used to be with my guy. I'm like, listen, I told him straight. I'm like, you keep my day safe. I'm gonna keep your day safe. You keep my day quiet. I'm gonna keep upstairs and downstairs. That's why I never really had no beef with nobody in there except the new ones that they were sending in because they couldn't understand why her house is always so quiet. So they started sending troubled people in my house to cause trouble. Like Deb Hill. I mean, was it Captain Hill or Deb Hill? But I think it was a Captain Hill. She's on the take. And then her boyfriend, baby daddy, came along. He was also Deb. He's the one who told me to write up all the inmates. For what? For having a thing in front of their cells. He came, he did a walk. Everything was closed except like 3 cells. It was closed, but it had the thing, it had a towel in front of their cell. So no, most captains and most dabs, when they walk and they see that, they would give the guys a warning. Please don't do that no more. Blah, 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 blah. Or else the officer would have to, whatever. But he knew he came in here to cause trouble. Because all the trouble have to look at different ends. You understand? Well, she get in trouble with the captain. He get in trouble with death. So he walked in that day. Spent about 5 minutes. He walked the halls. He had me. I walked with him. He's like, "Why is this in front of cell?" So I told him. I said, a couple of inmates just came out the shower and they still getting dressed, one at a time. So instead of him moving the thing or have me move the thing, he said, "Write them up." I said, "Write them up." I said, "Can I just give them a warning?" No, write them up. And he went around and wanted me to write all of them, right? And I explained to them. And they allowed, because some captains, they said, okay, when you finish, get dressed and whatever, take it off and. But the crew had an intention of putting pressure on me. So he told me to write. I didn't write them up. So then the next day, the captain came. I'm saying Hill, but it was Deb something else. He had the strong Jamaican accent. Deb so-and-so said he told you to write a couple of inmates up. I was like, yeah, I didn't write the report yet. Usually they forget about it or whatever. But they was adamant they wanted these inmates. I don't know if the inmates was not on their team and they was trying to get a team, but I know I wasn't on their team and they was trying to stress me out. Because you have to write everything in duplicate. But for a little crime like putting stuff in front of the window without a warning, I don't think it's called for. Because now you want me to write them up. It's going to cause contention with me and these 3 guys, and didn't have to. And they're going to go into the thing and fight the case and win the case. They're going to win the case. Because the person who's listening to the case is going to say, okay, you came out the shower, so-and-so. Because they're allowed to do it, when they come out the shower. So they're going to win the case. But you're trying to waste my time with your bullshit to tell me to write these guys up because you're trying to cause contention in my house. And I run a tight ship. You understand? So it's like, so I said, oh, I forgot to write I told the captain off. Oh, well, he wants the report. I said, all right. I never wrote the report up. So he came back. Oh, I told you to write the report. You never. Oh, so he told the captain to write me up. I said, all right. I mean, I told the captain why I don't think that, I should have to write up the inmate. Can't she talk to the deaf? But they all had it planned. You understand? So they wrote me up for not writing the inmates up. And I went in there and I told the dep why I didn't write the inmates up. Because it's going to be a waste of my time. And I don't think that the inmates deserve to be written up just for something across in front of their door, especially if they wasn't given uh, a pre-warning. And in the books, they said, not I can't remember if it's in the book. I mean, they came out the shower, they getting dressed. They need to hide themselves as men. You understand? Because they don't know the other inmates, maybe coming there to act like they walking past to see their dick or their ass or whatever. Okay, so they still want to cover themselves from other male inmates. And I'm a female, so they trying to respect me as a female, so they trying to cover up. But they insisted on writing me out. I said, take the L. So I took the L. So this is, and come to find out, and then another time he came, he brung his son in my area. Why I remember the inmate's name, because the inmate had the same name of either the captain or the captain or the dep, and the inmate name was Inmate Hill. He was a juvenile. He just came from the baby jail, so I think he was 19 or 20, and he just used to be unmanageable because he knew who his parents were. So he used to be on the gate. I closed the cell. 5 minutes later, oh, I need my cell open, all the time. Then he would do some bullshit, like I said, go take a shower and then his friend follow him to his cell and go in the cell. Okay, you want your man watching you. Let him stay by the gate, by the door, so I can see him. And you change your clothes inside. If you want him to see your ass and your dick, fine, be my guest. But he gonna do it on the outside of your thing. I don't know what the fuck y'all doing in that cell. So I used to tell him to break it up, or I used to go in there if I'm the A officer or whatever, or the B officer. I used to go to the cell and say, "Get out the cell. Can't do that." So he constantly used to do that, because you never know that if more than one inmate is in a cell, they could be beating up the inmate. So you have to do that across the board. When you see more than one inmate go in a cell, you got to tell them, get out. So I wasn't picking on them. It was just procedure. Get out the cell. Stay at the door. If you want to talk to him so bad, talk to him at the door so I can see you. I know he's in there by himself, so I can see you. Just like with any other inmate in my area. If I see too many guys going to the cell, that's what I do. Get out the cell. Talk to them at the door. I don't care if there's 5 guys in front of the door. Y'all 5 got to be outside the cell. And the one in the cell. If you got to threaten him at the door. In front of the cell. You're not going to go in there and threaten him and beat him up. And then what happened? Oh, she wasn't doing her job and she allowed them to be. No. So I followed that procedure with all my guys. Can I have more than one body in the cell? Sorry. I don't care who you are, what you are, whatever. Stay at the door, let them stay in the cell. So that's how I followed. So the DEP came and took me off my post because that Inmate Hill was making a whole bunch of noise and and whatever. And so happened they walked. And that day he pulled me. I said, "Oh, you just going to listen to the inmate. You're not going to listen to my part?" But then I looked, like I said, I remember the name. And I think the captain had the inmate's last name. No, you put 2 and 2 together. It's not coincident because she never walked in my area. How all of a sudden you walking in my area? Because your son or your relatives is in my cell. So now you siding with him. So it's all this bullshit. You understand? So that's why I'm going in on all of them. Don't care. Calling names. And pointing out whatever. So they put people in front of my door to watch whatever's going on in my area. So I used to find out who's the officer in front of my area. Because like I said, they work in teams. They don't work by themselves. They recruit. Sometimes they screw these men to become their girlfriend or become their side chicks so they can put them on their team or to befriend a person, just like regular street. Keep an eye on Gib. Keep an eye on Miss G. You understand? Shit like that. All right. Be safe.